Hello my friends, what is poppin'? You already know who it is, Coach of the Chim Chargers, and we're here today for our Week 5 battle of the WBE, up against my boy Mr. Talent, coach of the New York Marauders, and he's a good friend of mine. He has a team of Electrode, Mega Sharpedo, Milotic, Tapu Bulu, Nidoking, and a Slurpuff, so pretty cool team overall. And we are of course bringing our squad from the building video from yesterday, so be sure to check that out if you want to know all the sets that I'm bringing. Link in the description below as always. So at a first glance of his team, he's bringing essentially the mons that I prepared for, I feel. Except for maybe the Electrode. Electrode I didn't really expect to show up. I kind of expected Heatran in this place. I'm a little bit surprised he didn't bring the Heatran, which he had on his roster. I was expecting that to show up, but it didn't really make an appearance, so I'm cool with that, I guess. I'm cool with facing an Electrode over a Heatran for sure. But I guess speaking of Electrode, a couple options that it has. I mean, it has access to screens, which I don't really see too much for this specific build that he brought. I mean, possibly because he probably has a Belly Drum Slurpuff in the back. But I'm thinking it's more like a taunt lead with like Volt Switch or something is really what I'm sort of leaning towards for what that Electrode set could be. He also has a Nidoking, which is another potential lead. Like I'm thinking he'll lead either Electrode or Nidoking. Nidoking is there for probably Stealth Rocks. It's his only Stealth Rocker on his team. Speaking of which, I don't have a Stealth Rocker on my team because his team is not really a Hazard Week. I think I forgot to explain it in my builder, but his team was not really looking too Hazard Week because he had a bunch of, yeah, like his flying types, I think, or his flying type Sigilyph was like Magic Guard, and everything else is just taking like not too much from rocks. So I didn't bring Stealth Rocks, so I figured that I could really sort of chip his team down with like Hail and things like that, as well as I don't know, my other Pokemon. But yeah, like looking at this kind of build that he brought here, I feel like Pokemon such as Abomasnow, Magneton could put in a lot of work because you know, Magneton can do well versus the Sharpedo, Milotic, Bulu, and Slurpuff. It's got stab moves for those mons, which is pretty nice. I think Magneton can do really well, and Abomasnow. I mean, it's got the Blizzard Giga Drain combo, which is really good versus him. And he didn't bring Heatran at all, which sort of resisted both of those really well. So that's really cool to see. So those two mons I'm expecting to put in a lot of work in this match. Of course, my overall game plan going into it was to try to prevent rocks from going on my side if he does have them. So I think his Nidoking, if he does lead off with it, it could be his Stealth Rocker. So I figured my best lead would be Suicune. Even if he leads Electrode, I can protect to scout what he wants to do and just kind of get an idea of what set he is. And if he's like some kind of screens Electrode or something to try to set up for his team or something like that, I can defog them away at some point. I'm not really too threatened by an Electrode. Electrode is not really a threatening mon. It could be a Life Orb set with like 4 attacks even, but I think even then, like, we have some decent switches like Lottie and stuff which can sponge hits pretty well from his team. I think the overall goal is to try to get rid of his bigger threats like Sharpedo, like Nidoking, Slurpuff. I'm not worried about it at all because I have an Unaware Clef. If he's a setup set, that will not break through Unaware Clefable at all. And if he's like he could also lead off with Slurpuff because it could be Sticky Web, but I don't see Sticky Web for his specific build. So I'm pretty like in team preview, I'm pretty set on what I feel like his sets are. For Bulu, it can be pretty versatile, so I'm not sure what it could be, but Nidoking could probably be Rocks or like even Scarf for that matter. It just depends, I guess, but we'll have to find out what he is. Going into this match, I figured I'll just lead off with my Suicune and try to pressure him, pun intended, of course, with Suicune. And let's just go ahead and start the game, and I'll show you guys what went down in this match. And we're up against Mr. Talent here. As you can see, he decides to challenge me. You already know this may or may not be his first mistake. So he does lead off here with the Electrode. So I kind of got that lead right. I mean, Suicune is obviously not a favorable Pokemon to stay in on Electrode because I am still a water type. Do want to switch out here, but I am going to protect first to see what set his Electrode is. And as you can see, he goes for the taunt. So I'm like, okay, this is probably a classic taunt Electrode set, probably Volt Switch and whatnot. So I'm going to go into my Lottie. Even if he Volt Switches, it's fine. Like, Lottie is an offensive mon that does really well versus his team, along with like Abomasnow and Magneton and stuff. Really good mon. And he does reveal to be Life Orb. He goes for the T-Bolt on that turn too as I switch out here. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve, get my nice bulk added to me, get those offensive stats. He goes for a T-Wave. I'm able to dodge the T-Wave, which is, I guess, kind of unfortunate for him. But I mean, I do have Heal Bell, so I really don't care about status at all. I have Heal Bell on my Clefable. I'm an Unaware Clefable set with Heal Bell, so I'm going to go here into Magneton anyways, because like I'm like, okay, you're trying to T-Wave me. I don't really want that right now. So I'm going to go Magneton as he tries to T-Wave, doesn't work. Gonna go into his Nidoking here as I decide to double back out into my Mega Latias. And I'm like, hello, what's up? What's poppin', Nidoking? What's going on? And he's gonna be forced out here. As you can see, he goes into his Tapu Bulu. as I just go ahead and, you know, he gets up his grassy terrain here, of course. I just decide to fire off an Ice Beam. Gonna be hitting that Bulu for not really much damage at all. So I'm like, okay, this reveals to me that this Tapu Bulu is an Assault Vest set. So I'm like, okay, I don't want him to have AV Mega Horn or something. So I'm gonna go here into my Mandibuzz just to scout out what his initial reaction is to Lati. So he's gonna go for the Nature's Madness. I'm like, okay, that's not too bad. I do have Roost, which will heal myself back up to full health. So I decide to go for the Roost here as he brings in Sharpedo, which I'm kind of questioning to myself, like, why did he bring that in? Mandibuzz is basically my, like, one of my answers to Sharpedo anyways, because I have Rocky Helmet and Foul Play. So he decides to double out here. So I'm like, okay, so he decided to switch out, and I'm gonna go for the Foul Play on this Electrode, as it is not gonna do much damage anyways, because you know, Electrode's special attacker, Foul Play not doing much to special attackers. So I'm gonna switch out here into my Magneton just in case he wants to go for an electric attack or a T-Wave again. And yeah, I'm able to, of course, eat that up, doing nothing at all. And here I just decide to he goes into his Nidoking. I decide to stay in, go for the HP Ground. I switched out of Magneton the first time versus Electrode because I wanted to scout for HP Fire or HP Fighting or Ground or something. He didn't have those, so I decided to stay in, give some big damage on the Nidoking, and then switch out into my Lati, which can take the Flamethrower. I was expecting either Flamethrower or Earth Power, and the Lati could sponge both of those. So now he's forced out into his Bulu, and the way he's playing Nidoking leads me to believe he could be Scarfed. He could also just be not locked in but wants to switch out anyways. So I'm just gonna Ice Beam on the Bulu. Now I saw his reaction going for that Nature's Madness on my switch out, so I'm like, maybe he doesn't have Mega Horn, maybe I can just stay in, keep firing off attacks here as he goes for the Horn Leech. So I don't know about that one, but yeah, so he's not gonna get enough health to live the next Ice Beam, but I'm gonna predict his switch out. As you can see, he switches out here into his Milotic, and I'm just going to go right for the Roost here, get myself back to a good amount of health so that my Lati can come back in later on and put in more work. And he gets a Flame Orb activated, so I did kind of expect the Flame Orb Milotic, since that's a great way of making sure that I can't Toxic it at all and break it down that way. So I'm gonna switch out here into my Magneton, expecting maybe a Toxic to fire off from the Milotic onto my Lati. And he actually pulls a double into his Bulu, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay in, fire off a Flash Cannon. No point in you know, over predicting or anything, going for a Volt Switch or stuff like that. So I'm able to knock out the Tapu Bulu, which is nice. So one Pokemon already down, which is his Bulu, which is really solid overall. So he's gonna go back into his Nidoking. I'm gonna switch out here into my Suicune, expecting either like an Earth Power or I'm expecting maybe a Flamethrower, I guess. But he goes for a Sludge Wave and doing a good amount of damage. I think I was expecting an Ice Beam because I figured that he might want to predict my Lati or my Mandibuzz or something like that. But yeah, he goes for the Sludge Wave, gets a crit, kind of unfortunate, but it's all good because now he's gonna be going into his Milotic here. As I go right for the Scald, I'm just trying to force out whatever he decides to bring in, and like that Nidoking, I was trying to force it out, and I could get actually some chip health back here. I go right for the Protect so that I can get a little bit of chip health back and give him some chip damage from that burn, because the burn is going to chip him down a little bit. I'm not going to try to sit here and try to sub-protect him so that he gets burned down and stalled out. I'm just going to switch out here into an offensive threat, and I bring out my Abomasnow. So Abomasnow here gets up the Snow Warning, which is nice. He'll be taking chip damage from burn and hail, and that's really going to put up a lot of pressure on him, I feel. I'm an AV Abomasnow, Assault Vest Abomasnow. I eat up that Scald with ease, and now all I got to do here is fire off the Giga Drain. His Bulu, I think, was his only grass resist on his team, so now that that's gone, I can now safely fire off Giga Drains with ease, and I can go ahead and knock out the second mon on his team, which is the Electro. So Electro is gone now. So now he brings back out his Nidoking, so that is going to be a Pokemon that I can actually knock out probably with an Ice Shard here. So I'm going to stay in and fire off that Ice Shard once again, or right now, and he brings in his Slurpuff, I guess, trying to double so that he'll get a setup opportunity, I guess. But I mean, I have Unaware Clef, so like it's not gonna be able to set up at all. So he goes here into his Milotic, right? I'm gonna just decide to go for the Blizzard because Slurpuff can't do anything to me really unless it sets up, and I'm an AV set, so I can sponge even a special attacking setup, like a Flamethrower or something like that. So he's gonna go for the Recover on the Milotic. As you can see, I decide to go right for the Giga Drain, and it's gonna be doing a clean amount of damage. And he'll be taking burn. I think the hail does wear off here, if I'm not mistaken. So he's going to be recovering. He's going to keep clicking that recover, but to no avail, of course. I'm just going to Giga Drain once again. I think the burn is slightly, really slightly chipping him down even more and more. So I think he realizes that can't really spam recover on Abomasnow. Goes for the Scald here, gets the burn, unfortunately, so I can't really do a lot of damage with my Ice Shards or my Stomping Tantrums and whatnot, but I'm just going to Giga Drain here and knock out the Milotic. So that's his third Mon down, and we're still at a full roster right now. He brings in his Nidoking, and I'm just like, I kind of just want to goof around a little bit and see if I can live a Sludge Wave from Nidoking, because I'm an AV set. I didn't really test too much with the AV Abomasnow, so I wanted to see if I could live his hit. I expected a Sludge Wave too, and he actually just ate that up, so I'm like, okay, cool. Good for research purposes. And yeah, he switches out here into his Sharpedo, as I just switch out here into my my Magneton. I go into my Magneton here. I'm Choice Scarf, so I'm automatically faster than his +0 Sharpedo. He goes for the Protect, as I go for the Volt Switch, of course, trying to get a speed boost, but I don't see a speed boost. And I think he got his Mon misgen, so, or he mishandled his Mon, so that does not have speed boost at all. So I'm like gonna pretend he has speed boost and just play it out like he would have had it. So switch out here into my Mandibuzz, which can take the Sharpedo's attack and stuff, and then I'm gonna switch out here into my Magneton, expecting an Ice Beam from his double out into or from his switch out into Nidoking. So he's gonna Ice Beam again, and I'm able to just knock it out right now, since I think he switched out after he didn't get a speed boost because he knew I'd be faster anyway. So I guess the Mandibuzz play was still really good too. But I'm able to knock out the Nidoking as he goes right back into his Sharpedo. And at this point, he's like, okay, he can't be boosting speed or anything. Might as well just get off that Mega Evolution. I'm gonna just go back into my Mandibuzz, which is my dedicated answer to Mega Sharpedo. And yeah, he's gonna Mega Evolve here. Go right for the Liquidation, which is a cool move. Nice cool move with the Liquidation here. And I get a defense drop too, so I'm kind of getting a little bit of the the RNG with the burn and the defense drop and whatnot. So I'm gonna switch out here. I'm gonna try to preserve my 6-0. You already know. I'm gonna switch out here into my Suicune to take this Liquidation, and now I'm like, okay, I'm probably in range of a Crunch right now, so I'm actually going to switch out here or double out into my Mandibuzz as he pulls the switch off into his Slurpuff. So I think now he's probably thinking in his mind, it's now or never, do or die. You already know, start or die right now. And I'm gonna just go ahead and triple switch out here into my Clefable. As you can see, he goes right for the Play Rough. Probably, I was thinking he wanted to set up or something, but he probably wants to Play Rough, expecting me to Foul Play, because Foul Play would have done a lot of damage to a +6 Slurpuff. So now he decides to go for the Belly Drum here, which you already know. I'm an unaware Clefable. This Slurpuff is literally going to be doing the same damage as it did the first Play Rough it did to my Clefable every time. So I'm going to go for the Moonblast, put him basically down at close to 1 HP, and I'm going to Protect here as he goes right for the Play Rough once again, and get some leftovers back. Basically, I'm just trying to keep myself as healthy as I can for the last Pokemon Sharpedo. He Play Roughs and does miss, which, I mean, like I said, I'm unaware Clefable it was not gonna sweep me anyways, and it negates its stat boosts. And last Pokemon that he has here is the Mega Sharpedo. I'm a little scared about that miss though. Like, I'm sure there will be some casual players that'll be like, yo, that miss mattered, dude. You Envy hacks noob. You already know. But like some people might not even know about unaware. But I'm hoping that it's not the case. I hope they are not unaware of the unaware. You already know. But yeah, we just win this game with a Moonblast to finish him off. That's gonna be GG. It is Envy. I think we played really well overall. I feel like his team just didn't have the breaking potential to break through our team. I think we really had an answer for everything that he brought, I'd say, since, like for Mega Sharpedo, we had like Mandibuzz and Clefable. And then for like Nidoking, we were able to like switch around that and just sort of outplay that Pokemon. And Slurpuff, of course, we had the unaware Clefable, which of course it just can't set up over. And then Bulu wasn't really a threatening mon overall. I mean, I think Bulu was mainly built to take hits and not really to deal a lot of damage. As you saw, it didn't really do much to our team. But yeah, I think we just had a lot of answers for his Pokemon, and that's kind of why we won in such a dominating way. Of course, I think he played pretty well overall, but yeah, I just think his team was a bit underprepared for ours. Is essentially what I'm thinking is the cause of the 6-0. I didn't mean to put you down like that, my boy. I didn't mean to, but I had to do what I had to do. But it's still a good game for sure, and yeah, be sure to check out my boy Drew, Mr. Talent. His link will be in the description below. I'll be watching his side of the game, and yeah, that's gonna be it from me. So hope you all enjoyed this match. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, always looking forward to hearing from you all as always, and I will see you all on the next video. Peace.